its first initiative which is gonna held in Andaman. So the reason why we are coming today because we are the part of democratic system wherein the voice of our youth has to be heard because 65% of India's population is youth. And today's topic is women-led development, the key to Viksit Bharat. I request any of the panelists to kindly answer. What does women-led development means to you? Any one of you? What is women-led development? Why it is necessary that women should come and lead the development?
Yes, ma'am. I think women-led development will start when you don't ask women specifically that, there is a development going to happen just because of women's participation. There should be a gender equality when everyone has participated and the development has happened. That's it. I would say feminism also, or feminist, what we talk about, is actually like male and female together.
Yes.
I would suppose we are all human beings, right? It shouldn't be discriminated as male and female.
Ma'am, you being working in this sector since many years, I want to ask you, ma'am, what is the biggest challenge you think the women are facing in Andaman Nicobar Islands to become leaders? And what are the possible solutions which we can find and we can prepare a platform wherein the women can come and lead it?
See, to become women leader in Andaman Nicobar Island is not very difficult because we have got a very good, it's a safe environment, and then we have got education which is there in the remotest part of this islands. Education is available, but I would say about the quality and the exposure. Now, after we have got the network connection, I think that has also become not a challenge for women. But above all, our situation is little different because the patriarchy which is already there, which has to be I think the boy child, even I am having a son. So the upbringing of the child should be in such a way that you respect a woman. It shouldn't be like I'm going to marry tomorrow and then there will be a biological clock and a career clock, both which has to be compromised by a woman. And then, you come up with a situation where woman has to do the maximum compromise to run the house, to get a baby. Even if she is highly educated, she does that. So if that thing can come to a small gender equality table, I think, the things will be sorted out for Andaman Nicobar Islands. Even the remotest island, you will have a lot of, if you improve your skills and if you have your capabilities, your qualifications, you will be a leader. That is it.
So, ma'am, you talked about leader, but there are certain limited opportunities what Indian youth are facing right now, and especially the islands youth, because our thought process is very limited to getting a government job. But there are many key sectors. For example, ma'am, the doctors are there who have been practicing. I want to say an example. Andaman and Nicobar Islands can be a leading manufacturing fish oil because we have abundance of anchovies present here. We can be a leading manufacturer in fish proteins, but that is not being tapped till now. So, what is your takeaway and in context of women because they understand the healthcare system in a much better way compared to the boy or men. So what is your takeaway in this? How women can come and just not be leaders, but they want to be entrepreneurs so that they can provide employment to the youth and not sticking to only limited thought process of getting a government job. What is your thought process in this now?
If you want me to answer this, yes. I think I'm into all the portfolios here. Because even I'm a qualified dentist.
Yes.
That was my qualification. And then when it comes to entrepreneurship, I went by my choice because my husband was there in business. So I went by my choice to do the entrepreneurship and develop that business and also employ a lot of women and men for the job. So, that is, it depends on the particular person. How they want to lead the island. Because, it is challenging. Because if you're in a place like Nicobar or Diglipur, it is very difficult because net connectivity is not that good. And plus, you have to improve it, yourself, not only getting qualification, but even knowledge-wise. So knowledge-wise, to get qualified is like reading more or getting exposed to the world. So I think, these kind of programs like My Bharat can also help the students now. Our Prime Minister is thinking on those levels, where he is thinking about the remotest areas. You were talking about the fisheries.
Yes.
So, being in the hospitality industry, I have seen many tourists coming here and they complain us that, we don't get fish in Havelock, and which is actually exported from Port Blair.
Exactly.
So we have to tell them that fish die of old age here because we don't have fishermen. That is the irony here.
Exactly.
But then I think, this can improve, because if you are educated also, if you have a particular skill, why don't you develop the skill? Because it is not that you have to depend on the government job. It has come to saturation. You cannot get government job every time. And I've seen people who are like highly educated going for MTS or other exams and taking smaller jobs. Why do you want that? You can secure your life. Examples are sitting here. There are so many ladies sitting here who have been an example. They have started their own startup and they have done very good. So you have the skill, you have the qualification, come up with it. That is the answer.
Exactly, ma'am. So one question, ma'am. What is the one change you want to bring in from your end to empower the women in Andaman and Nicobar Islands?
See, first of all, a woman has to understand herself. She has to first understand that the world doesn't give you any importance if you are thinking that a woman is always led by her father when she was a child, and then she is led by her husband, and she is supported by her husband when she's married, and then when she becomes old, her son will come and help her. I don't think that. I think the whole mentality comes to financial security of a woman. So if you are trying yourself to become a leader or you want to become successful, you have to first thing is financially secure yourself. You shouldn't be dependent. So the first thing to get financial security is the consistency. Whatever you're working, whatever your ideas are, be hardworking, be consistent, and also that sustainability will lead to a leadership.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think the consistency is the key for the achievements. Thank you for guiding the audience. In the context of women, the health is very much important. I was reading the National Family Health Survey reports, so I was able to understand that in Andaman Nicobar Islands, the anemia is quite prevalent. 50% of women population are affected with anemia. This is the reality of Andaman Nicobar Islands. So, being a doctor, ma'am, uh, how do you think women's health is very much important for a developing nation, for India to be a developed country because it's still a developing nation? So, how do you think the health has to be managed by the women so that we can achieve at the same time they can contribute to the Viksit Bharat, at the same time they can achieve the goals of health, because we have mortality rate, we have stunting rate, which is where the percentage wise we are in huge numbers compared to the world average.
Yeah, first of all, I'm really grateful that you invited me here. I'm very grateful with all the respected panelists. My Bharat is a platform I'm a privileged to be a part of. So thank you so much, everyone who has thought of inviting me. Coming back to your question, everyday basis when we sit in a OPD and when I discuss with my young female patients and I find anemia in them, they just randomly tell me in reply, my mother is also anemic. This runs in the family. The mother is also 8 grams. And that is how it is normal. And it is quite shocking for me. It was shocking 10 years back when I initially started my practice. But right now, I have also accepted to hear this answer before they can even utter that thing. So, female here have taken for granted their own lifestyle, their own, how much do they deserve. If to speak in Hindi, let's just say, फीमेल ने ही खुद अपना दायरा तय कर दिया है. उनको लग रहा है कि एनीमिया होना उनके लिए सही है क्योंकि उनके मदर को भी एनीमिया है, उनके नानी को भी एनीमिया है. So what ma'am just explained, it completely depend upon a woman, how you take yourself, what you feel about yourself, and आप क्या अपने लिए चाहते हो, आप अपने को समझते हो. So that is required for a female to understand what is good for your well-being. What career do you want? What kind of food do you want? What kind of a partner or a friend do you want? What work you like? So female has to start choosing and understanding themselves. As Harshit just brought a question, I strongly believe female and every woman on this earth, not just for our nation, are the builder of the upcoming generation, are the ones who are the caregiver, because they are not just a woman herself as an individual, they are also a mother, a sister, a daughter, a wife. So they are someone who are actually the provider of the house. The father can of course bring money and a mother can be homemaker, but they are the one who are providing education, the care to the kid, the care to their brothers, the care to their husband. So women are the very important building block for a nation, for any society.
Exactly.
So it is very much important that they are aware of their well-being. It is very much important of what how they take care of themselves. By the name itself, My Bharat, Mera Yuva Bharat. So today, as we are addressing the youth, so it is important that youth present here, आप खुद उस मिथ को, उस फॉल्स बिलीफ को ब्रेक करना स्टार्ट करिए कि मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ एक प्रॉब्लम, मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ के लिए आप लोग सोचते नहीं हो. यूथ अगर खुद मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ को कूल या फिर नेगेटिव के हिसाब से नहीं सोचेगा, तो आने वाला जनरेशन भी नहीं सोचेगा कि व्हाई इज मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ अ डार्क थिंग एंड वी कैन नॉट टॉक अबाउट इट. Why is mental health of a woman not important and we cannot talk about it? If today's youth are aware कि preventive investigations या checkup अपने बहन के लिए या अपने माँ के लिए, अपने नानी के लिए क्या क्या होता है, तो आप अपने लिए भी कर पाओगे. Who being as a female or a male, even the males present here, you are the youth of the society. So आप लोग ये कर पाओगे for the future generation कि आपके अपने मदर के लिए, सिस्टर्स के लिए, फीमेल घर में जो भी फीमेल है उनके लिए क्या चेकअप करना है, उनका मेंटल हेल्थ कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, उनके लिए कैंसर स्क्रीनिंग करने के लिए क्या क्या टेस्ट करना है, उनका फूड, उनका न्यूट्रिशन कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है. So I believe today's youth plays a very important role in shaping the future. They are the policymaker and the entrepreneur and the doctor and the teachers in the upcoming generation. So the youth needs to understand women is the building block of the society. Their health is what is important.
Thank you, ma'am. So we have spoken about the necessity of the health, why it is very much required that women should take care of the health. If that is considered, but one leg stands, wherein how the awareness can be brought among the women, because that is very much necessary, as rightly said by you. I want a particular answer in which, like, of course, we can do this because this is a very prevalent problem which is happening. What is the solutions and one point of solutions where we can adjudicate this problem in Andaman Nicobar Islands?
See, I have been attending multiple programs arranged by different NGOs and schools since all these years. Andaman is not lacking very behind. I'm very proud that I come from a background where when I was in school 2008-9, there were meetings where teachers would invite doctors and proper guidance would be given to us and educated people used to come and we would see those female as our role models. In 2008-9, 2026 is far ahead now, and now though it happens very frequently. Andaman has taken this very nicely that every college, every school has this kind of speakers brought who are either doctors or teachers or professors, and they speak about women health, they speak about women mental health, they speak about screening of cancer, multiple cancers. Right now, the government has started oral cancer, cervical cancer, breast cancer. Proper health checkup vans are coming up, and it is happening by non-government organization and government organization, where doctors are appointed, the government is paying salary, and those doctors are doing screening. It is coming in Andaman very soon. So I feel Andaman is not lacking that bad. Say around, if the other states are doing around 30-40%, Andaman is doing around 55-60% of its work already. Just that I would want the youth, whenever now that we are having to have this conversation, the youth should be listening to whatever details was given while Ms. Disha was speaking about all the pointers that she mentioned. I was very keen to understand whatever she was explaining. Because if I am far above of the age, the upcoming generation, 17, 18 and 20 years of age, if they are listening to the conversation that we are happening to have over here, they will of course carry it forward and they will take care of it. They are doing already good. What I believe is this kind of school programs and these kind of meetings and this kind of health educating positions, nukkad nataks and events that can be conducted in places where there are crowded spaces, more of these kind of awareness would happen. Otherwise, Andaman is doing good. They are not lagging behind on arranging these kind of programs.
One more question, ma'am. So Andaman is basically rich in flora and fauna. So the concept of health tourism or the wellness beauty products can be done here because we have that, because nowadays the products are certified in this way. It's pure natural. The various products are launched in this way. So Andaman Nicobar Islands, being rich in flora and fauna, there are various opportunities what we have. Don't you think this sector has to be further researched, or the women has to participate so that we can come up with new entrepreneurs and business, which will of course generate the local employment.
Very true, very true. This was the reason after practicing medicine so many years, certainly last to last year, I came with an idea where I thought I actually co-founded a ecotourism company with my partner, which is Ecoterra Trails. I brought that idea of ecotourism and tourism where it is giving us peace, nature-related activities, birding, intertidal walks, and activities that gives us peace. So why I took up these kind of this kind of business as my new venture apart from health? Because working in health sector, what I realized, nature is a very big healer. What I have realized is all the
And we are
patients,
blessed with that.
and we are blessed
Yes.
with biodiversity. So what I felt after seeing every patient is, be it be anemia or any nutritional deficiency or all the water-related contamination, diseases, and everything, if they actually understand the value of the nature that they live in and they protect, they preserve the biodiversity, these diseases will reduce. All the people from my fraternity, my friends, we used to plan trips and we used to go for wellness retreats and all sort of
Yes.
nature-based activity outside, abroad, or India.
Yes.
That is when I realized I went to a different state to feel the experience of that state. And that is when I realized ki why not Andaman can come up with something where we are sending out experiences like that. Then people from corporate people, the doctors, the other people who are actually working as slaves but earning, minting, doing good, they can come and live this life here for 4 to 5 days, 10 days, and it will be a retreat for them. When we plan a trip or a vacation, we should come a little bit happier and healthier from the destination. It's not just a bucket list that you complete. You have to try to, be happier and healthier when you come back. So in Andaman, if you see now what I am feeling as a difficulty, I do not find naturalists here. I cannot find bird watchers here. I cannot find wildlife photographers here. So I am not understanding why the kids here are not coming up to be astro guides, cannot do nature walks, cannot do intertidal walk. हमने अपना पूरा बचपन बिताया इंटरटाइडल में चलते चलते एंड व्हाई आर वी नॉट गेटिंग इंटरटाइडल वॉक के लिए यहाँ से बच्चे वी आर रेडी टू टीच देम we are ready to bring volunteers from mainland and give them educational guidance and give certificate programs where that will generate employment for them, where that, because this is a business that I run, I'm not just saying like that, but then I really want to bring up some employment for this place. I'm a local born. Whenever I try to see a patient or a person that I'm talking to, I always try to reflect my grandfather's name. See that this name should be thought ki, like that child, that person's child or something. So it is very important for me. Andaman kids should have that earning, that employment, and the knowledge. Why do we have to bring naturalists and photographers and bird watchers and astro guides from outside? That will create employment for them.
Exactly.
So wellness retreat, all the nature-based activities are happening in Andaman right now, and we are facing unemployment because we are not having trained people. Good that the administration has brought all the astro guide
Yes, it is happening in
it is happening now. It is happening. They are giving training also. The administration is doing that. Government has brought also bird watching guide training that is recently happening. I feel very good, happy seeing about it. But we are really in need of people who will want to come and work with us. We are ready to teach. We are ready to employ. Just come and talk to us.
Thank you, ma'am. I will request Poonam ma'am to suggest some more things because you are pioneer in this industry. You are having a legacy with holding Seashell Resort. So you are having a legacy. You can explain us in a very detailed way the audiences and the tourists can be targeted in the sector of health tourism and the wellness sectors in Andaman Nicobar Islands.
When she was
So we have all these options, but in order to put them in a good picture and to execute it, we need a good policy. So I would like to ask Rashmi ma'am. So there is a lack of policy, or you can say policy paralysis, which is there in Andaman Nicobar Islands because our youth are not directed to one particular thing, or they are just roaming around to go with government job, either to go with this thing because we don't have opportunities. It is because of lack of policy what we have. So what do you think in Andaman context, what policy interventions can be taken and what is happening in regard with the administration, what policies they are taking up, this youth can take up and do these wonderful things what other people are doing here?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Harish, for this question. So, to say that in our administration or a youth doesn't have an option or a choice, it's actually wrong because administration along with the government have been policing out a lot of schemes, and a lot of help is being provided. The lack is on our part. That's what I would say, because one, we are reluctant to educate ourselves with the policies. Second, when we know about the policy, let's say, I have a friend who got something, instead of being inquisitive about how to get this as my, how can I make this as my opportunity, we rather go on saying, "Ki, maybe they must be privileged." I mean, it is very easy to, say that you come from a certain background or you are from the privilege or you have the education. Trust me, in today's world, your education does matter, but more than that, your skill matters. Your inquisitive nature and the motivation, self motivation that I would like to do something. I'm very sorry to say, today when everyone is on the social media, and me coming from the media fraternity, I have to be on the social media to see what's happening. When the CJP protest was happening and everything, the entire nation was, applauding the youth and the Gen Z. And when it came to Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we were a bit late to, actually follow the trend. Now, it might be a personal choice to follow it or not. That's completely fine. But coming to another post that I unfortunately saw, there was a very young girl who made a day in her life where she was getting ready to go to a coaching center for an MTS job. Now, I would say no offense to the MTS or the job that is there, but if you can aspire and dream for a bigger picture, why not you are not doing that? You are the young generation. We are the one who have the world in our feet. If we want to have that, if we have that motivation and drive to see what's happening in the world, you don't have to be in that space. You can have it on your phone. Now that is the reach. Then why are we only dreaming about certain things which are good but which can be made better? So saying that policies are the one lacking behind, it's actually excuse from our part to say that policies don't exist.
So what do you think? So policies are lacking behind, but still, do you think the role of women has to be increased in decision making? So the women reservation bill, which is still supposed to be on table in the present parliament session, what do you think? The women reservation bill has to be taken into consideration at this point of time when the nation is moving with one nation, one election, and with a limited scope of target of 2047, India to be a Viksit Bharat. So, what is your opinion? Because, of course, when women are involved in the policy making, it will be towards the women. It will be for the welfare of the women. So, what do you think about this?
Well, I think reservation, happens to be a topic where everyone is like, why do you need reservation? And that usually comes from people who are privileged enough to not need the reservation. But if you, even today, you go to the villages in India, or even here, when we speak of Andaman and Nicobar Island, all of us are concentrating on our capitals, that is Sri Vijaya Puram. We are not talking about a lot of time to the north and middle of Andaman, what is happening in the Nicobar part of it.
But we have many panchayat members and municipal councillors who are women actually.
In my opinion, can lead by example, because here there are many women leaders, and reservation can only help them in having a space where, if there is a space where there is a lack of representation, women are equally called upon and right people reach in a decision making. See, it's not only about the participation. Somewhere in the policy making and everything, decision making ability and the power of decision making comes into role. And that is where, if reservation is the means by which women can be a part of this whole system in much more empowered manner, I think it's definitely a way forward.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, Rita. I just want to tell the youth, nowadays, when we used to go to America, we used to hear a very strong word ABC. That is American born, Desi confused. Confused Desi. So I think Andaman born, confused we are. We are thinking we are in the remotest part of this island. You should go to mainland India. You will see some of the villages which are very remote. You don't have any access to anything. But here, I was the social welfare board chairperson also. And being in the public sector, I have visited Nicobar. And from Nicobar also, we started with skill development. And skill development project, which was a pilot project, what we did, we got 20 Nicobaris here, Nicobari girls here. We taught them 60 prototypes of coconut only. And then told them that please go back and make a chain. They have gone back and they came back in a month with a record of 400 girls knowing the same skill with only hand tools. And this was done by industry in association with the social welfare board. So you just see there are these kind of pilot programs going on. Even I was in social welfare, so Poshan Abhiyan, and there are a lot of female-oriented, like pregnant women are given, they have been given Acharya, aapka ek wo hota hai, like, you have to give vitamins to the pregnant women. All those things, ANMs, everybody is working. But it is the youth who is confused. You think that you are, because you're exposed to the world, you don't see your potential. First of all, look into yourself first. Whether you have a potential, you have a skill, now you have to develop that skill. See, being a dentist here, when I came and joined GB Pant, that time I was given the job. And they told me कि अगर आप transferable job लेना चाहते हो तो आप GB Pant में ले लीजिए. I worked as a volunteer for 2 years. And then I opted out because I was not going for transfer. Why should I hold that job? For somebody, one islander who can get that job and she is ready or he is ready to go for the transfers. So I opted out and I opened my own clinic as an entrepreneur. That time hardly there were 2 clinics or 3 clinics. And today also in 30 years I'm sustaining that clinic. That means if you are having the zeal, nobody can stop you. But here the compromise starts. Because we have a patriarchy which I started with. Once you are qualified, you are married, and then you have again I will repeat, your biological clock conflict with your career clock. And here you are going to bear children, and then suddenly in 40s you realize I've done nothing. I have to come up now. See, we are awareing you. Don't do that. Because those years will pass out very soon. So please consistently work hard for your skill and also the opportunities you get. In Andaman sitting here and telling that I am a very good speaker, I can become the Rajya Sabha speaker, you cannot become in one day. You have to understand the opportunities what you have got, just take them. And then another thing which I would like, if there are women who are sitting here who are enabling themselves, who have already settled themselves, should come forward with the skill development. Because, if somebody in your fraternity or in your structure of work, if somebody wants a little bit of help, you have to open up. Like we have opened up Habitat Institute, I was telling her. It's an NGO. And we are developing naturalists. We are developing nature photographers. And I will be proud to say that there are 2 local children who have come up and they are doing all our nature photographs for the groups which we are getting. So, that way, I think multiple children can come up. If you're good in photography, if you're good in any other things, just follow your skill and get your basic education done. You cannot do anything. Your phase in life now is to search for a partner, to say that so-and-so is my BF. No. There was Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, told once that if I was having my brain in place, I had my brain in place, so I got Obama as my husband. Otherwise, I would have eloped with anybody and ruined my life. So please be careful in doing your decisions. And I think this will lead to much, much women-led progress here. And Andaman is also progressing very good now. And I think women will lead and they'll become main decision and policy makers and decision makers and they will be in the head, and that will actually the women-led, society or development will only happen when more and more women will come on that platform.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As you rightly said, when there is zeal, no one can stop you. Thank you so much, panelists, for giving your valuable time and motivating the students. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.